Hi, this is Allison, Aaliyah, and Anna doing our presentation on Octavian, the great ruler.
Go.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Tonight our show will consist of interviews with some of the greatest rulers of all Rome. Tonight we will start with interviewing a man known as Gaius Julius Caesar Augustus. But tonight for the show we will be referring to this fine hero as Octavian. Octavian, it is a pleasure to meet you.
Oh, thank you, Barbara. It is an honor to be here tonight.
Okay, well let's begin talking about how this power was passed to you in the beginning.
Okay, sounds like a great place to begin.
So, when you were born in 63 BC, Julius Caesar was the ruler of Rome, correct? Can you elaborate on what you know and learn from this?
Okay, so yes, Julius Caesar lived from 100 BC to 44 BC and ruled the majority of that time. Julius did not come from a very wealthy family, but he was very smart. He used to form and join gangs to intimidate the embassy to gain power. But Julius showed his smarts by keeping the people on his side, sometimes by hosting games for entertainment. Then Julius decided he needed to keep power, so he formed the first triumvirate with Pompey and Crassus. This ultimately meant they went around the rules of the Roman lawmaking system in a very clever way. This is how Julius started gaining power.
This is very interesting. He sounds like a very smart man.
Yes, he was very intelligent and a strong leader.
But this is just the beginning of Julius's story. Please tell us how his power became yours when you were not his son. This was very, very odd in these times. Please continue, Octavian.
Thank you, Barbara. Anyway, Julius's story wraps up quite quickly and nicely, so it shouldn't be too long. Anyway, Caesar was attacked by many groups of people, but nobody could bring him down, because for the next 10 years in Germany, he continued to show he was a fantastic leader. Caesar became the wealthiest man ever by conquering people and gaining great wealth. Then, at this time, Pompey and Caesar were the only people left to fight for the remaining power. To make a long story short, Caesar wins and Pompey dies. Caesar ultimately gets a big head and names himself dictator for life, and gets assassinated on embassy steps and dies.
Oh my! That must have been quite the downfall for all of his people.
Yes, absolutely. At this time, the people went into complete chaos after they had acquired all this wealth and power. They went into mad confusion because there was no obvious ruler for them.
My oh my. This is when you, Octavian, were introduced to the whole ruler thing, right? This is when you ruled from 31 BC to 14 AD. I understand that Caesar named you, his nephew, as his heir, and you became ruler. And because you were named heir, you got into conflict with Mark Antony, Caesar's friend, and formed the second triumvirate. Is this correct?
Yes, unfortunately, this is correct. I did get into conflict with Mark Antony, but I turned out to be okay with it because I had Caesar's smarts. It ran in my family.
Please elaborate.
Well, you see, at this time, as time went on, Antony was in my way. So I used propaganda to turn the people in the Senate against Mark Antony. I used propaganda such as this. Here you go, Barbara. There it is.
I see.
I used this paper to point out to the people that Mark Antony was going to marry an Egyptian ruler and have Cleopatra, an Egyptian lady, be queen of Rome. I told the people that Mark Antony was consorting with a foreigner.
I see. So, I see. You began to win the favor of the people, and I understand you two had a final battle?
Well, yes. The battle took place in Actium, Greece. When we arrived, I immediately saw I had larger forces than him. But since Mark Antony was with Cleopatra, he had the side of Egypt fighting for him also. Overall, I chased them out of Greece, and they both committed suicide. I won the war.
Man, victory here. This sounds like an easier battle for you, but what did you do after the battle with Mark Antony?
Well, Barbara, you see, after I defeated Mark Antony, I owned all of Egypt and all of its pharaohs, and I made lots of money, and ended up acquiring Egypt as my own personal possession.
Oh wow, this must have been a big accomplishment under your ruling. Stop.
Well, yes, all of those things did happen. First, I did change my name to Augustus. Second, I set a permanent tradition of passing on the hereditary emperor's position. And finally, after I was ruling, I led Rome to 400 years of dominance over the Mediterranean.
Oh my, Octavian, you have really had a fantastic story and are truly one of the greatest rulers of Rome. It was truly an honor to have you be on our show.
Okay. Oh no. Oh no.
Who are you?
I can't take this.
And who are you?
This is Livian, my wife.
His
And how long have you guys
wife.
Ex-wife.
Ex-wife.
Why?
He is a lying, cheating man. I can't take this. I'm out.
Elaborate. Stay.
I have been fully dedicated to this woman all of my life. But
Liar.
there's been other
Liar.
mistresses in the relationship. Okay.
We can just keep that one.
Well, no, thank you for honoring me this evening. It was a pleasure to be with you, Barbara.
It was a pleasure too.
Barbara Walter time, baby. Thank you for tuning in to the Barbara Walter Show and watching this special edition of the greatest rulers of all Rome. Although we had a few minor interruptions, as you would with any great war heroes, I hope you all had a great time watching the interviews and learning about Octavian.